I'm the scat man. Yo do do do. Skibby dibby ding yo do do do. Yo do do ba 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 do. Ba 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 do. Happy Friday. We are here, first Friday of January. Welcome to NHL Pack Props presented by Bet99. Josh Inglis here riding solo. Busy weekend for our man Carlo. That's okay. Coming off a winning day thanks to the bet boost from Bet99. We'll get to that. We're probably going to do it in the Winter Classic today, but we got to wait and see what happens with JT Miller. We got to see what happens with the Florida team because Mr. Tkachuk could be back. There's a lot of questions involving those lineups. We should get a morning skate relatively soon. Good to see everybody there pumping it up in the chat. Happy Friday, y'all. And I was looking at it. Make sure to hit that like button, comment, subscribe. We've got to get these views up. That YouTube algorithm change knocked some views off, but I appreciate everybody who's here helping out. Hockey's tough. We know that. Giant days of losses can be turned into giant days of winning. The swings in hockey are big. People who start betting hockey at the beginning of the year, I would say maybe 2 of 10 people probably make it to the end of the year before they give up. It's a sport where I think you have to hit big plus money things. Sitting there going, like, what was I on yesterday? The Washington money line. 2-0, lose 4-2. Right? Was on the Columbus money line the other day. 2-0 turns into a 3-2 deficit in 2.5 minutes. The swings in hockey on 50% coin flip plays and things that are slightly juiced or slightly just over the main markets aside totals, it's an absolute grind, I think, just to float through money line and over-unders. It's tough, right? You saw the Pittsburgh-Detroit game yesterday. 2-2 after 21 minutes, an absolute layup for the over, and then a giant sweat as the next 30 minutes basically were scoreless. That is what hockey is. And everybody there in the chat talking about just how difficult it is playing money lines and such. And then Jeff Fiend says the second, third line stacks have been working well lately. And I think that correlates directly to what I'm saying here is because those are the plus 350s. Those are the plus 400s. And those are the ones that you have to win in order to come out on top. And sometimes you go a day or two without hitting any big ones, but I think that's how it goes. That Habs game yesterday was awesome and great to hit that double stack in the first period, which was awesome. I love that second line. I know, and you don't have to sit here and play the plays that I do, but I'm going to drop a lot of stuff. You can come to your own conclusions in terms of what you're playing, what you like. I know I did mention adding the Kapanen point to plus 300 for the Slav Demidov Kapanen stack, but I was a little worried because Boosie wasn't at. It's in Carolina, so I didn't get greedy. I went plus 180 on the 2, but those ones hit. The second line in Detroit hit. Easy cash with the double stack. Yeah, it was nice when you get a loose game like that. Sadly, we couldn't put too much out in the Toronto game because we didn't know who was going to play. So we had to wait for some information. But anyone who probably bet that game, every point prop pretty much went over. I think before the game started, I hit a McMahon. What was it? Michelli and McMahon. No, why am I stupid? Who was on the second line with Tavares? Michelli, Tavares. I don't know. I was leaning into the assist stack. 2 stacks, $25, paid like 10-1 almost. I also think books are overvaluing PP correlation. That's a really, really good point. Nice. Thank you very much. Yes. Domi. So the Domi assist happened. The Nyes assist happened. I think there's some good work in terms of finding out where the assist is and putting an assist with the stack instead of the double point. I think some books even know what guys are playing together. And I don't think there's a correlation between like forwards and defensemen. Like it's the cat and mouse game that we keep playing where they caught up to the 5-on-5 correlation. And then I think they've really overdone the power play correlation. And that's why I think there's more value in doing 2 guys like Bennett, Marchand, and Verhaeghe, who maybe aren't all correlated on PP1, but correlated 5-on-5, and you get a decent boost. But there was a lot of work. Nice to see Austin Matthews back. Crosby is absolutely incredible. Amazing what we've seen. A 4-game slate. So let's go. Why do I have my... Come on, move that out of the way. Stupid Grammarly tab. No, it's going to stick right there. That's super annoying. Sorry, I can't see the last comment. But we go. Let me know if I'm saying anything wrong. Let me know if you have any strong opinions for or against as we get going. Hit that like button. We start off Vegas St. Louis, blessed with another afternoon game. The afternoon games have been actually entertaining over this break. Some overs. All overs hit last night except for the last one. Very interesting to see when we were talking about maybe mailing it in. But no, we're going to go. I don't know. I'm taking shots again today. So I wanted to know a Hanifin assist. And then I wanted an Adam Fox assist in the Winter Classic because Adam Fox bump. Hanifin played 30 minutes last game because of the injuries to Theodore and McNabb. And then I'm like, well, maybe I want a Quinn Hughes assist in the Minnesota game too. Hey, how about we just go triple D assist, Hanifin, Fox, Quinn Hughes assist, plus 633. How about a little cute one there? And we get Quinn Hughes. We get the easiest one at the end, which is the better way to do it. If you want to play Hanifin single, I believe he's plus 120. Fox is even money for the assist. I like that. And that's kind of where my angle was too. Avi was the Fox snub, and that was heavily involved on X yesterday about him getting a call from Bill Guerin, and he's like, "Yeah, what am I supposed to like? Why would you even call him? Yeah, sorry, Adam, you're not making the team." But if you've seen Adam Fox's numbers, and we'll get to it in that game, they've been pretty impressive. And here I am taking another swing in this afternoon game that we've seen loose. Vegas has not been great. The goaltending's been bad. St. Louis can't score, but there's 2 guys on that team who probably will play the most. So we go Hertl and Dorofeyev. And we're going to go Hertl assist and Dorofeyev for the point. You get the setup guy and the trigger guy. And then on the other side, you get Thomas assist and Buchnevich a point. You get the assist guy, you get the trigger guy. $12.50 for the double stack with the assists in there. That is a big price. And this is I'm just trying to feel out a different way to look at the doubles because I didn't like it. I know Jack Eichel could skate today. He's probably more doubtful than probable because of the afternoon game. But I think even if he does show up, they're probably going to keep Hertl and Dorofeyev together because that combo has been together and coming off a point. Vegas, here's what I got, the rundown. Vegas, 1-6 straight up in their last 7 games, 3-game skid, let down after that 2-0 lead versus Nashville the other day. Like I said, Eichel questionable. Theodore's out. McNabb exited the last game. And all of a sudden, you're looking at a Vegas team that lacks depth. And a good way to look at the lack of depth is, what are you running on PP2? PP2 is a good show of some questionable guys. Usually there's some offensive guys in there. But this is what Vegas is rolling with power play 2 right now. Barbashev, Sizian, Bowman, Holtz, and Hutton. That is a trash power play 2 for a team that was supposed to dominate the point percentage this year and be the number 1 team like most projections had it. The lines got blended last game at 5-on-5 for Vegas, so it's kind of a wait-and-see approach, but I do think Hertl Dorofeyev stay together. Hertl Dorofeyev for a point, plus 140, not a price I like. You add the Hertl assist, Dorofeyev point, Hertl assist, that goes to plus 250. So that's the kind of bump you get by adding the assist, and there are some spots where guys are more assist guys than they are point guys. Hanifin, 30 minutes last game. Assists in 5 of his last 6, including 2 multi-apple games. Vegas power play 1, getting like 80 to 85% of the chances or percent of the time because that power play 2 looks awful. And St. Louis on the other side hasn't seen a lot of 6.5 games. And here's the trivia to the group. Of St. Louis's 41 games this year, how many games has St. Louis scored more than 3 goals? I'll give you a chance. They played 41 games. How many times has St. Louis scored more than 3 goals? And yes, Abby, we do have to play. I think I've worn out the assist thing. I think I'm back on the assist tracker. Looking at goalies, Carter Hart likely. He was pulled in his last start, 4-5 straight up, 318 goals against, 883 save, and the 5th worst goalie in the league, goals saved above expected per 60. Hence, that's why we're getting some talk about Flower going back to Vegas. Joel Hofer, he's likely. 2.11 goals against in his last 8 since December 1st, 927 save. Could be a St. Louis win here. Thomas Buchnevich still leading the pack in time on ice, while the other ones, basically every other forward on this team is playing like 14 to 16 minutes. Ice time's dispersed. It's tough. They've pointed together just 2 times in the last 5, but pointed each. 165 isn't a bad price for Thomas and Buchnevich this year, likely versus Hart. Buch point, Thomas assist, plus 200. Double assist, plus 375. I think like 2. Nelk Dog's close. St. Louis on the year, 41 games. How many times have they scored 4 or more goals? Once. Just once. Maybe the worst offense in hockey. That is brutal. I'm off power play points. Unless I can find, I think the only angle on power play points is just finding the guy who they just haven't priced properly, who's now up to power play 1. 8 times for the Blues, 4+. Unless my math was that absolutely bad, now I have to go double check. That. Heading over to covers. Heading over to that matchup page. Super simple. Go click on St. Louis. Go click on past results. 6-2. St. Louis, 6-2. What was I counting? 1, 2. What was I counting? Maybe more than 4 goals. That's what I was. No, but they've done it 5-2. I was counting something. I swear to God I was. Oh, no, that's what I was doing. So if you go to the covers page, I'm a donkey. If you go to the covers page and you click on the team, and it shows you the results, the first results are upcoming games. And that is the last game. So in their next 41 games, they've scored more than 3 goals once versus their upcoming competitions. That's where it is. And then you have to click on past results. Ah, the gotcha moment failed. Sorry, team. I let you down. 475. I think there's value in the power play market. I just think that you have to stay and play the market over a longer time to extract that value. Because if you're just dipping your toes into it on Wednesday, maybe on Friday, I like this one on Sunday, I think it's much more. It's much more difficult. Got the USA boost. Yeah, Boldy to score. Yeah, my quote of the day. I'm a donkey. I'm not afraid to say it. Not afraid to say it at all, but that's how I like that early game. I like the looseness of it. Let's go. We're going to Lone Depot. Rangers 125, Florida minus 145. I think I lean Florida in regulation in this game, but I like the over 5.5, minus 115. My boosted stack, if everything stays the way it is today, is going to be Sam Bennett, Brad Marchand, plus Lafreniere and Trocheck at plus 500. I like the Trocheck-Lafreniere line the other day a little more than what I liked on the Panarin line. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully we can get those guys to play. It's an indoor game at Lone Depot Park. Roof is going to open late. The dumb glass partition in left field is going to open late. But it's not going to matter because I don't think we need to worry about ice conditions. They're cranking the AC in there all day during the ice, and they brought in 2 refrigeration units to keep things cold for the first time ever in an outdoor game. Nothing should be wrong with the ice. One thing I do worry about, and I know Carlo always talks about it, is goalie sight lines in terms of what they're seeing. It's a change for both these guys, Bob and Shesterkin. But Shesterkin's been an average goalie with a 907 save percentage since December. And Bob, despite going 7-3 straight up in his last 10 games, sub 900 save percentage, and the over is 5-0 in his last 5 games. You get the Adam Fox bump after the Team USA snub. You get the Sam Bennett snub boost. So I wouldn't be surprised if both of those guys went off. Fox got 2 points in his return. He's riding a 7-game point streak with 12 total points with 11 assists over that time. Looking at special teams, Florida last 5 games, 5 power play goals, 3 power play goals against. Rangers, 3 power play goals for, 4 against. The Rangers are 5-0 straight up in outdoor games. That means absolutely effing nothing in this game. That is a dumb stat. If someone tries to push you on that, call them a donkey. You're like, Josh, the Rangers are one of the worst over teams in hockey. Yeah, I know. A lot of that's at home. Their home over-under record, they have gone under in 14 of their 18 home games. Remember that next time the Rangers get back to MSG. Fox power play point. Like it. Oh, Shesterkin was complaining about the ice being wet. That's interesting. It's probably only going to get wetter as they open up the doors, but we'll see how they skate. It's a really tough thing to judge. And it's like, okay, if it's wet, it does slow things down. If the ice is really fast, you see the puck bounce. It's a weird happy medium in terms of how is ice going to affect the total goals. And I think in these games, maybe a few more penalties called than normal. Maybe trying to build up the excitement, get some more power plays for both sides. I'd be really surprised if you only saw one power play from each side. But a game you're going to want to see, and a game that might actually look cool in a shitty ballpark with the roof open in the Miami skyline there. Puck drop's probably going to be at 10 o'clock on the 8 o'clock start. So be prepared. Breaking news. Ice is wet. Water. Here's scientist Josh. Water, one of the weirdest things that exists on our planet. One of the only things that floats in its solid state, in its liquid state. Take that one to the bank and brag to your kids. Show them the knowledge. Minnesota at Anaheim. Woo, let's go. Minnesota team total over 3.5 plus 105. Minnesota 9-1 straight up in the last 10 meetings. I don't really care about that stat at all, but I know some of you guys do because Anaheim has been terrible for years. The Ducks, though, I do care about this. 1-6 straight up in the last 7, riding a season-high 4-game losing skid. They're not playing good. Lucas Dostal has played 6 straight, 8 of 9. He's got a 4 goals against, an 840 save. And Peter Mrazek, if he does play, is one of the worst goalies in hockey, and that line will move significantly if he does play. Gustafsson is likely to start after we saw Wallstead the other day, 6-2 straight up since December 1st, 189 goals against, 926 save. I think a lot of people will get up on this Minnesota money line. It does feel trappy. Mystery to science. Hey, yeah, spectrum from one end to the other, Darren. Yeah, that range. Infrared to, oh, come on, Josh. Oh, ultraviolet. There it is. I think that's the 2 spectrums on the on the whatever color scale. Just move on, Josh, you donkey. We're still donkeys. Minnesota 7 straight games in December, 2 or fewer allowed, but since 17 goals allowed in the last 5 games. They're playing some loose hockey. Overs hitting 3 straight. They've been scoring. Since the Hughes trade, they're averaging 4 goals per game. The Johansson, Ek, Boldy line played the most at 5-on-5 last game, 12 minutes. They're plus 300 today. I would love a sneaky Ryan Hartman point to be added to the prop list today. We saw it hit with Tarasenko on that third line. They're actually getting a lot of time. They correlate on PP2. That's a sneaky one. There you go. Look at the water chat is absolutely blowing up. Water is the only form of matter that can exist in 3 states at once. And I think it's, as Jonathan Davis has pointed out, he also loves the Wild team total over 3.5. I just think it's the more valuable play there than the Minnesota money line that I think will get a lot of attention. I think Anaheim has kind of hit a wall, so to say. The Kreider, Seneca, McTavish line is the only line that they're kind of keeping together. They're blending the other lines. We saw Killorn jump up in one of the other lines, the top Leo Carlson line. McTavish, Seneca, Granlund, Carlson, Jackson Lacombe. They played 3 minutes and 45 seconds compared to 1 minute and 15 to the other power play unit. So again, that McTavish, Seneca line, that's the stack. That's a correlated one. That is a great comparison. Ryan Hartman is Barrett Hayton. They're the same guy. They're literally the same guy. Price the same spot, but I do think that Minnesota can run up points here. Water can't be created. I didn't know this was. I didn't know the juice pumpers were all Bunsen burners and beaker cleaners. Little thing about Josh. Josh's background, educational background, biotechnology. You wouldn't know to see it. The late game. We got 2 late games, but let's stay up. Seattle, Vancouver. I finally sounded smart yesterday saying bet against Nashville. It was a great spot to bet them from Vegas, 600 goal, and then going to Seattle, and that was a no-sweat winner. Doesn't really happen too often. Yes, Lucas Stoschel has been god-awful. Boom. Honors. Science Waterloo. Way to go. Oh, don't even bring up shots on goal. It's not something we talk about much here anyway. And it's something that I forget which goalie who was talking about it, but he was saying like, yeah, we got like, you think you make the save, you get an easy save, you add them up, and then you go look at the box score and they take the saves away. That's what they do. They take them away more than they add them. So that's a market I hate and a market I don't. Yeah, they're dead to me. I can't do anything with them. And it is interesting. Like the Kaprizov line they can't find they just can't find structure within it. Like, is it Yurov? Is it like they can't find someone to play? I think there's more value on that second line. Let's go Beniers, Eberle, Capo Caco for a point here, plus 400. Seattle coming off a win versus easy matchup versus Nashville. Here are my notes, but 11 of a possible 12 points in their last 6 games. Seattle's playing great hockey. Joey Decord, likely. He's 3-5 straight up with a sub 900 goals against. 904 save percentage since December 1st, basically an average goaltender. Seattle 2-4 straight up on the second of a back-to-back with just 10 goals scored. Thatcher Demko, here we go. He scared me when he came back. He does not scare me anymore. 13 goals allowed over his last 3 starts. And what doesn't scare me? Vancouver. You want to talk about maybe the least amount of depth in all of hockey right now? Garland out, Marco Rossi out. All of a sudden you have a top 6 of DeBrusque, Pettersson, Carlson, Kane, Sasson, and Besser. Like you only have point props for 4 of their top 6 guys. Kiefer Sherwood, possible to replace Marco Rossi on PP1, and then you got to go replace Garland on PP2. So there will be some things, but we won't find out who those guys are, and I don't think the point props are available for power play for them. The Vancouver stacks are DeBrusque and Pettersson plus 160, yuck. Kane and Besser plus 220, yuck. But I'm thinking you go Kako, Beniers, Eberle. It's cashed in 3 of the last 5 games, and that's a hell of a price for something like that. Eberle points in 11 of his last 14 games, 6 goals, 6 assists. If you're looking for the assist guy in that grouping, I think it's Kako. Besser's been awful. Like Vancouver was exciting there for like a week, and then it's brutal. Demko stinks. And here's the banger. Here's Uncle Josh's 183-1 4-game, 4-line banger, all day action Friday, ride it into the weekend. We started off. Thomas Buchnevich. We don't get greedy in the first game because I want nothing to do, and I don't even think you can get a point prop for the other guy who's playing on that top line. Point each. Second game. Go to that dominant line. Bennett, Marchand, Verhaeghe. Please don't mess it up if you come back, Kachuk. Third game, already mentioned it, Johansson, Ek, Boldy, a point each. Tricky for people who can't bet Boldy's point props 1.5. Don't get greedy, just go Johansson and Ek. Don't add the assist. And then the final game, Kako, Eberle, Beniers, point each, plus 183. Who had Grubauer as a Vezina candidate? Not I. Yes, please. Nick Cerrone says, use your hype points so others can see this video. I'd greatly appreciate that. Spending even on a 4-game slate when I'm going through the notes and going through some stuff, it's like 7:30 to 9:30. Like I'll spend 2 hours just going through these games, where to look, what's moving, what to think. And it's not like, here's my best bet. Here's my best bet. No, like here's some information about these games. What tickles your fancy? Let me know in the comments. And that's it. Information's important, right? Like, who is Jonathan Davis is probably the chat. Who is the beat reporter who first mentioned the USA roster? I forget what his name is. He posted, it was alive. A friend of mine messaged me. He's like, yo, take a look at this. There are some rogue prices for some of these guys to make it. Right, like Brock Nelson was like plus 600 at the time that came out. Seth Jones was 2-1, and then Vinny Trocheck was good plus money. Like, information is fantastic. Information is the most important thing. And in hockey, much like baseball, hockey more important than baseball, just like basketball, continuously moving information. And books can't keep up with it. It's too tough. They're relying on us to move the market. Frondell goal today. Is that the Latvia game? It's a good question. Because we do have World Junior early, and that's what the question is. Number 3 overall pick, Chicago. Frondell is the most impressive person. Yeah, so you got Sweden, Latvia. Yeah. Sweden, Latvia. It's got to be Frondell for goals on the power play. That's just kind of where he's camping. That's going to be a mismatch of a game. But don't look for teams to run up scores in these elimination games. Interesting to see. Can't bet Seattle players with the ability to score in the second half of back-to-back. Yeah, like I said, I think 6 games, 10 goals, Jonathan, on the back-to-back for Seattle this year. It's tough, but that's why we're taking a swing at plus 400. A lot of that has to do with just how poor of a team Vancouver is and how bad Thatcher Demko is playing right now. Okay, so we got a 3 o'clock game. We got a 2 o'clock World Junior game, Sweden, Latvia. If you can bet goals, I think Frondell at anywhere near even money is fantastic. And if not, then maybe 2+ goals is probably the better bet. If anybody was betting English Premier Soccer yesterday and you bet all ties, you just won a lot of money. 1-1 and then 3 0-0 games in the EPL. Not much happening in soccer today on the 2nd, but then another loaded slate tomorrow. I'm off. We got football tomorrow, a couple games. I absolutely hate Tampa Bay. I'll fade that team. The last time they covered a spread was before Halloween. That team's awful. I like the 3. I like the 2.5. I like the team total under. Baker Mayfield's hurt. His unders is rushing over, so maybe a good look. But enjoy this weekend. Great football lined up tomorrow, Sunday night. I would like to call great football, but Pittsburgh playing without DK Metcalf, and that might be the worst offense in football right now. Niners or Seattle? It's a great question because I just don't think that the Seattle offense can go toe-to-toe right now with San Francisco, especially if Kittle's back. San Francisco is the most impressive team in football, by far. They're a dead over team, and I know it's probably a good time to buy the over on anything in a Seattle game because they can hold bad offenses to nothing. But just like we saw in the Rams game, that's kind of what I'm expecting in this spot. And it's Sam Darnold season. Brock Purdy, since coming back from the bye and resting that turf toe injury, has looked incredible. Absolutely incredible. Doesn't matter who's catching passes from him. Like Demarcus Robinson can put up a big game if he has to. We saw Tungus go off. Him and Kyle Shanahan, especially early, with the best scripted offense in all of football. First half overs with San Francisco are cashing. Beginning of the year, Steelers to win division. I just think it's a bad time right now for Pittsburgh. It's 2 teams going in opposite directions. I know Lamar Jackson's coming back, and I don't think that really shoots that through the roof because Tyler Huntley played really well last week. I think in a spot where Aaron Rodgers, who can't pass the ball more than 5 yards without DK Metcalf and having to pass to Calvin Austin, Scotty Miller, and MVS, is just a trash offense. It's going to be a stacked box. And one of the telling things in how bad this Pittsburgh offense is, Kenneth Gainwell is paying even money for 5 catches. 5 catches, 30 yards. It's dump-off city for Aaron Rodgers, and I don't think he's got anything. He looked so scared of Myles Garrett last week, and he did not want to set the record. He looked brutal. Pitt losing Washington is a giant loss, 100%. I do like Connor Hayward for a touchdown at 8-1 or better, maybe 7-1 or better. They have to get creative. They were so bad in the red zone. Arthur Smith's one of the worst play callers in all of football. But I think you're going to see more of those big boys running, right? You see John O. Smith sometimes running in the red zone. You see Connor Hayward. I think he ran for 26 yards, but he could have a roll. He's a long shot. in that price range too. It's such a tough week with so much moving. 30 minutes. That's what we got today. I will keep you posted on today's boosted stack. I want to see what happens with Tkachuk. I want to see what happens with Miller. I hope they don't mess up those lines. But right now, I got 5-1 on Bennett, Marchand, and Trocheck and Laffy. That's what I want. Hopefully, we can get that. Enjoy your Friday. Lots coming down the pipeline today. We'll see you back here next week, Wednesday. Keep on banging. Let's go. Josh Inglis, Puck Props. Bet99, appreciate it. Signing up. Don't forget to use the code COVERS NHL. Have a great weekend. Thanks to producer Mick, and thanks to everybody else here during the holiday season. Let's have a weekend. We'll see you later. I'm the scat man.